Right, let's begin. Okay, so we were talking about storage devices last time, and we had stopped over here. We discussed about primary storage, and we learned that cache is a high-speed memory that is mounted on top of the CPU, like I showed you in that diagram. And most computers today come with cache, which is either called L3, L2, or L1. So these L3s, L2s, and L1s are basically defining the speed of the cache. So if you go to buy any digital device, even if it's a smartphone or a tablet, you can read the specifications and compare the device with another device by seeing what the CPU is like and what kind of cache does it have. And in the previous diagrams on page 1, I think it was on slide 1 right here, yeah. So if you look closer over here, guys, you can see that the cache is actually really closely mounted on the CPU. So if this is your CPU, you see this rectangle that's representing a CPU. It has 3 further parts: the logic unit. So it has the logic unit, it has registers, and it has cache memory. Okay, so everything clear till here? Any questions?
No, sir.
Any questions? Okay. Okay, then, so we're done with primary storage now, and now we're gonna switch to the secondary storage. And this is also something I've done with you guys in class, so I'm not gonna go into too much detail, but you guys know what secondary storage is, right? You don't know what secondary storage is. Can you read this, Arisha, please?
Yes, sir.
What's the first thing it said?
It is not directly accessible by the CPU.
Okay, what does that mean? It is not directly accessible by the CPU.
That you can access it like by the CPU.
Right, so that means that the CPU has to take a jump. It needs to cross a couple of bridges before it can reach the secondary storage.
Yeah.
Does that make sense, Anika?
Yes, sir.
It does. Great.
Yes.
Okay, let me just take a snapshot of this picture so I can refer back to it later. Okay, clear all my drawings, and just a second. I'm just going to take a quick one over here. Okay, so I'm just taking this picture now. Let's just paste it in MS Paint. CPU, storage, cache. All right, getting back to where we were. Okay. So, I mean, this is not directly accessible by the CPU. So what that really means is that you need to go cross a few bridges, and then you're going to be able to access what's on the storage. And if you look at the diagram that was shown initially of the CPU storage, it's oops, it didn't load up. Wait. Oh, that's not good. Keep this open side by side with our presentation. Right. So if you look at this diagram, this is your CPU. This is your main memory, the RAM. And this is your secondary storage. Now the CPU does not directly access the secondary storage. Rather, the secondary storage is actually loaded into the main memory, the RAM of the computer. And the main memory is then loading it or uploading it into the cache memory before the CPU can talk to this secondary storage data. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Any questions so far?
No.
No.
Okay. Computers usually use its input-output channels to access secondary storage and transfer the desired data using intermediate area in the primary storage. So what is the primary storage they're referring to over here? Yeah, anyone? Vidya. Yeah, which primary storage are they referring to over here? The computer usually uses input-output channels to access secondary storage and transfer the desired data using intermediate areas in primary storage. Anybody else? Yeah, what are they referring to as primary storage here? The RAM, right? RAM is your primary storage. Is it not clear to you yet that primary is all the chips inside the computer, the main memory, the RAM? This is all your primary storage. Look, we did this initially. Yeah, primary storage. So examples of primary storage include RAM, ROM, and cache. Make sense?
Yes.
Yes,
Sir.
sir.
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, okay, just clear the screen and we move on from here. Okay, so examples of a secondary storage includes a hard disk. Can you tell me some more examples of a secondary storage device? Yeah.
USB.
A secondary storage device. Who answered that? Was it you, Arisha?
Yes, sir.
Okay, Arisha said USB. Okay, so Arisha, do you know the full name for this USB? USB stands for Universal Serial Bus. Yeah. So that's an interface that allows you to connect various peripheral devices. But actually the term that you were saying is, you're not telling me the complete name for that device. It's a USB
Flash drive.
flash drive. Excellent. So USB flash drive is right, or you can call it the
Sir,
pen
magnetic
stick.
tape.
Sorry?
Magnetic tape.
Magnetic tape. Oh yes, that's good. Magnetic tape is also a secondary. Who answered that, by the way?
Vidya.
Vidya, yeah. Where were you, Vidya? Did you leave the
Sir,
class?
I am here. No, sir.
Okay, because I was calling your name and you were, I kind of felt ignored.
No, sir.
Anika, can we hear another secondary storage device from your side?
Sir, that's all. Sir, floppy.
Very good. Floppy drive. Floppy disk, sorry. Yeah. You don't use these anymore. Anything else you can think of?
Um,
Okay, let's move on, girls. Next page. And you will get to see all the other devices that are secondary storage. Okay, hard disk. So hard disk is the main and usually largest data storage device in the computer. Can store anywhere from 160 gigabytes to 2 terabytes. Hard disk speed is the speed at which the content can be read and written to. It comes in various different rotation speeds, varying from 4,500 to 7,200 RPM. Can anybody enlighten me on what that means? 4,500 to 7,200 RPM. What are they talking about here? At this point.
Speed?
Yeah, what speed of what?
The disk.
The disk. Okay, so basically, yes, the hard disk. The hard disk is spinning, right? There's something inside the hard disk. Can someone tell me what that is? That's something inside the hard disk? Yeah, anybody? That's something inside the hard disk? Yeah, so hard disks contain something known as platters, right? They're round, circular platters, right? And these platters have a spindle inside in the middle. And this is where they're actually, this is like their main, this is where the momentum is created between the circular thing, right? So there's a spindle and it connects all these platters and they're spinning. So it's their spin speed, which is mentioned here, 4,500. What's this unit? Who can tell me this unit? Yeah, what's RPM? So rounds
per minute.
Rounds per minute, or you
Per
can call
minute.
it revs per minute. You know what revs is short for?
Revolution.
Very good. Revolutions per minute. That's exactly what it is. So this is basically the number of times it spins. Okay, moving on, guys. Disk access time is measured in milliseconds. Okay, fine. So they measure the disk access speed in milliseconds. So a hard disk could have something like for example, 50 millisecond access speed. And what that means is this is the minimum amount of time it takes for the hard disk to access a piece of work that you have assigned or that the CPU is assigning. So because it's all mechanical, this is the amount of time it takes for the head to position itself on the platter where the data is stored. Any questions?
No, sir. No, sir.
Okay. Right. So I've shown you hard disks in school, physically, if you remember. I think
Yes.
one of the hard disks that I did show you in school looks something like this one here, right? This is like one of the most conventional hard disks that are used in anywhere. You know, even your desktop computers may have them. These are the conventional hard disks, right? And then we have something over here which looks slightly different. What exactly do you think is different about this one? It's also a hard disk, by the way. But what's different about it? Yeah, I'm waiting for you girls to say something.
It plugs in directly in the.
Sorry, couldn't hear the full word. You said it plugs directly in the.
Whatever you're using, like suppose a laptop or a computer.
Okay, very good. But what interface does it use to plug directly into these devices? Look at the picture closely and you can tell.
I'm using the cord.
Yeah, there's a cord, and this is, what kind of cord is this? It's a USB interface. So this particular cable that's at the back, this is a USB cable, right?
Yeah.
So what this will allow you to do is you can plug this device into the USB port on, say, your laptop or desktop computer, and immediately this device becomes a hard disk. It starts appearing on your computer. You can go browse it. You can save information, load information from it. So this hard disk is known as a portable hard disk. Okay?
Yes, sir.
It too has platters inside. It spins, but it's a portable hard disk. So what are the pros and cons of having a portable hard drive versus a conventional hard drive, which is actually not accessible? Now, this hard disk here is actually installed inside the computer, right? Because it's installed inside the computer, it's called as an internal hard disk. Okay, it's called as an internal hard disk drive, which means that you're not able to remove this as efficiently or easily as you can this device, which is just plugging into the USB flash, the USB port on your computer. Okay.
Yes, sir.
So anybody can tell me some advantages of using this hard disk over this hard disk? Can we discuss a couple of these, please? Right.
It has a large
go ahead.
storage capacity.
Portable hard drives have a large storage capacity. Portable hard drives do have a large storage capacity, but the same or maybe more is available for conventional hard disks as well.
Yeah.
Anything else, Anika?
Sir, it's portable. So it is easy to carry.
Right. So it's easy to carry, and it whispers as well. Easy to carry, doesn't make a lot of noise, just like you girls. Yeah, it's a very quiet hard disk. Doesn't make a lot of noise. Yeah, it will just whisper very quietly in the background, so you won't even know if it's running. This, on the other hand, can make some noise. Okay, and mostly used for backups. What's a backup, girls?
Like if you run out of space on a different hard disk, you can use that other one. Yeah,
that's a very good scenario where you might want to purchase one of these things, but okay, but that doesn't answer my question. What is a backup? Yes, Anika, what is a backup? Sorry.
So I cannot explain it.
You cannot explain it. Let's see if Vidya can. Vidya, what's a backup?
I don't know.
Okay, it's very simple. It's not really that typical. A backup means a copy of data.
Okay.
I'm sure you've heard the term in your phones, backup WhatsApp data or backup your phone data. So backup basically means that you're going to make a copy of your entire data that's on the storage device and replicate it into a safe place. So if you've got this internal hard disk and all your songs are on it, your homework's on it, your images are on it, and now you just want to have another safety zone where you want to keep the entire content in another place. So you could use a portable hard disk. You copy all those files over there, and then in case this main hard disk fails, you'll still have your backup. Similarly, with a smartphone, you could have the entire backup using one of the softwares or applications that are provided with the smartphones. You can have all that data backed up on a hard disk, on a computer. This way, in case you lose your phone, it gets misplaced, you can still buy a new phone and copy all that data from that backup. So backup basically means a copy of data. That's all.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, secondary storage devices, a hard disk. Oh yeah, so here we are. This is a table containing a list of all the different things that bring you, that come with the internal hard disk and the external hard disk. So just to make it clear, this is your conventional hard disk. And the other one, the later one over here, is the portable hard disk. Here we go. So portability, internal hard disk, no. External hard disk, yes. Price-wise, the conventional hard disks are cheaper versus the external hard drives, which can be more expensive. Speed-wise, the internal hard disks are faster, and the internal hard disks are faster compared to the portable hard drives, which could be slightly slower. Size-wise, you can buy bigger capacity on the internal hard disk, and external will probably be a little less than the internal ones. Is that clear?
Yes.
Sir.
Any questions so far?
No, sir.
No.
Great. Okay, so now I think we, wait a second, what else is ahead? Okay, so tertiary storage. Okay, they're talking about tertiary storage. So this is secondary storage, which obviously involves magnetic tape and optical disc. These are also coming into secondary storage, all right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
And optical, so this was one point that we missed before when I asked you guys what other secondary storage devices. So I think Vidya answered magnetic tape, and Anika, you didn't answer, but this could have been the other one, which is optical discs. So this is CD-ROMs, DVD-ROMs, and so on. Okay, so magnetic tape is a magnetically coated strip of plastic, which can, which data can be encoded onto. We used to use these tapes for computers as well as to store music and video. They were very cheap in the old times, but they were very slow and needed a lot of space to save the information. So like they used a lot of this reel that you see, this film. So not the best things, but they used to be used in the past. Then we got these optical discs, obviously the CD-ROM, DVD, and the Blu-rays, the DVDs, yeah. We've discussed these as well. They usually work on laser technology, and they're able to store a lot of information on this circular disc, which is made of plastic and has a very strong reflective surface. Right, so here are some of the capacities. I know we've done these in class, but just have a quick look at this. Okay, so capacity-wise, the CD-ROM is about 700 megabytes. DVD can go from 4.7 to 17 GB, and Blu-ray is about 50 GBs. Okay, don't worry about the wavelength here. Basically, the wavelength means that this, like how tiny is the data dot that it's storing on the disk surface. So obviously the Blu-ray is using the tiniest dot here, the space on the surface of the disk. So it can store a lot of data on there. That's why it goes up to 50 GBs. These are the read-write speeds. So CD-ROM was 1200 KBs, which is approximately 1 megabyte. DVDs are approximately 10.5 MBs per second, and the Blu-ray is the fastest here, about 36 megabytes per second. So I don't know, I'm sure you guys did see movies on these, like video was very popular on these CDs and DVDs and it still is actually on Blu-rays. So the CD-ROMs, the CDs, the compact discs, they didn't have a very good quality, not very high resolution, okay? Like the picture quality was not really that amazing on a CD-ROM. It was just okay. Whereas on the DVD, the video image quality was slightly better, sharper. Sound was also good. Whereas the Blu-ray is currently, which is being used if, I mean, obviously these discs are not that often used nowadays. You have these things on the cloud, you can just look at them. So Blu-ray has the highest, it has HD or Ultra HD video quality, which is the highest. And sound is also very good, like very high quality sound. So this is all possible because of the speed at which it can store and retrieve data and the capacity that the Blu-ray has. These are the short forms, BDR and BDRE, or BD just for Blu-ray disc. DVDs come in all sizes and types, DVD-ROM, DVD-RAM, and similar with CD-ROM, CDR, and CDRW. Any questions?
No, sir.
Any questions?
No.
All right, let's move on. Okay, so I think we're pretty much there. So let's have a look at some questions from the exam papers. Okay, can you all see the question paper?
Yes, sir.
Okay, great. All right, let's have a look at this question here, guys. Anika, can you read this question, please?
An external hard drive is connected to a PC. An external hard drive is a type of a control device, primary storage, secondary storage, input device.
Right. You can answer this question, Anika.
A secondary storage?
That is correct. It is a secondary storage device. Okay. Just looking at if they have any other. Oh yeah. Let's have a look at this one. Okay, Vidya, your turn.
Which one of these would provide the largest storage capacity? 250 megabytes, 5 terabytes, 50 kilobytes, 500 gigabytes. 500 gigabytes?
Right. What did you say? 500 gigabytes. Okay. So anybody want to say something different?
5
50
terabytes.
kilobytes.
Right. So I mean, this is how it works. So you got like 1 kilobyte has 1024 bytes.
So I said 50 kilobytes.
Yeah, I'm just coming to
Terabyte.
that. Just clearing this question for you. That was not the correct answer, which Vidya has said. So just clearing so you guys can figure it out. 1 megabyte equals to, okay, let me make it even simpler for you guys. Okay, 1,000. 1 megabyte is 1,000 kilobytes. Then what comes after 1 megabyte? Kilobyte, megabyte. What comes after megabyte?
Gigabyte.
Gigabyte, yeah? So 1 gigabyte is equivalent to 1,000 megabytes. Okay, what comes after a gigabyte?
Terabyte.
Terabyte, very good. So 1 terabyte is equivalent to 1,000 gigabytes. Okay, so now can you give me the right answer?
Terabytes, 5 terabytes.
5 terabytes. 5 terabytes
Yeah,
means
that's
5,000 gigabytes, right?
Gigabytes.
So this is still 500. So yeah, that's fine. That's okay. Who knew the answer from before, other than Omar Khan? Omar Khan's answer
me.
was right. He did answer it in the chat window. Yeah. Who's me? Does this me have a name?
Anika Osman.
Anika knew the answer. Very good. Okay, that's fine, Anika. Don't worry about it. Wow, that's nice. Sound of nature. Kind of missing it these days. Okay, looking for another question that looks similar. Okay, girls, if this class finishes, I will reopen the session. We got to do a few questions, okay? So you guys don't have any class right now after this, do you?
We have English class.
What time is that?
11:20, I think.
Oh, it starts. Oh, 11:20, right? So you have a lot of time right now. Okay, because the reason I said was I think we should do a few more questions before I let you guys go. So if this session ends, I just want you to join it again, okay? I'll reopen the session.
Yes,
Okay?
sir.
All right, great. Great.
Oh.